following program is sponsored by CBN.
Coming up, John Tesh live. The legendary musician/journalist tells all about his career, his health crisis, and the relentless pursuit of success. Then, suit up for a trip to the Arctic.
There are no roads here.
And see how missionaries are sharing the gospel at the ends of the world.
If you are not careful, you can die out here.
On today's 700 Club.
Well, welcome to the 700 Club. Against all odds, Benjamin Netanyahu came from behind to win a stunning victory yesterday. Now, after 3 elections in under a year, the political stalemate in Israel could be almost over. The question is, can Israeli Prime Minister put together a winning coalition? John Wagi has this look from Tel Aviv.
Jubilation at Likud party headquarters after the most skilled campaigner in Israel's history came from behind once again.
It's a win against all odds because we stood up against the powerful forces. They already eulogized us. Our enemies said the Netanyahu era is over, but we turned the plate on its head.
Likud's victory puts the prime minister right on the edge of a governing majority. He was in the same position last year and failed. But the people celebrating here tonight believe this time he won't be denied.
Exit polls gave the parties on the right at least 59 seats, just short of the 61 needed to end the Knesset logjam. But the full vote count could take days, and that makes for some anxious moments.
We're hoping it's going to be 61, and then we don't need anybody, and whoever wants to come is welcome, and whoever doesn't, we can still manage a government.
Still, Netanyahu's rival, blue and white leader Benny Gantz, refused to concede.
We created something called Blue and White. We merged our documents and principles to one place, and I am telling you that we won't compromise on our principles and our way.
In past campaigns, Likud counted on former Defense Minister Avigdor Lieberman as a solid part of the right-wing bloc. But he started the election stalemate last year and says he won't compromise now.
We don't plan to move 1 millimeter from what we promised, from what we committed to our voters.
Even if Gantz and Lieberman won't compromise, the Likud camp believes in coming days they can find Knesset members from the left or the center to join them and save Israelis from a 4th election. John Wagi, CBN News, Likud headquarters, Tel Aviv.
Well, CBN Middle East Bureau Chief Chris Mitchell is joining us now from Jerusalem to tell us what lies ahead. Chris, Netanyahu has, 59 seats, 60 seats? He needs 61. Well, what do you think he's got to do?
Well, right now, Pat, he's got a couple of options. First of all, that's the question of the hour right here. One thing, the final vote hasn't come in. Right now, there's about 90% of the vote. The final vote will come in by Thursday. They still need to count soldiers and diplomats and even people that were quarantined from the coronavirus. So that will be one way they can get it. If they get 61 seats, they can have a government unobstructed. As John referred to in his report, right now they're actually in talks with some of these candidates, these members of parliament from the Blue and White Party. If they can get just a couple of them to defect, come over to to Likud and to Netanyahu's government, they could form a government. And Pat, one other point, there's tremendous public pressure right now not to have a 4th election. So that's going to be in Netanyahu's favor as well.
Well, the turnout from the Israelis is astounding. How many people, the percentage of people who voted in this election?
That's right. There was more voters since 1999, about over 70% of the population. And right now, Pat, you know, a lot of people are calling Netanyahu like a political magician. He's pulled a political rabbit out of his hat. And how did he do it? He did it because he had a positive campaign. He was able to bring and target maybe 300,000 Likud voters that weren't in the last September's election. They were able to target them, and he went out there. He was a tireless campaigner. He was able to do 5 and 6 rallies in a day, and because of all that, they were able to make that switch. Back in September, they were 4 or 5 seats down. Now they're 4 or 5 seats up. Makes a huge difference. And he might be on the precipice of forming a government for the first time, Pat, in over a year.
Have you identified a couple of those blue and white folks who might be, I hate to use the term defector, but would come over and help form a government?
Well, there's one they talk about in the Labor Party right now. There's 4 or 5 in the blue and white they're actually talking to. Many of those people aren't coming out publicly, and those Likud members that are in discussions with them, they're not saying who they're talking to. But like I said, Pat, there's really a pressure in the Israeli public not to go to a 4th election. So they're saying that those people, if they come over to Likud, they won't be seen as traitors. Right now, at least publicly, blue and white is saying they're going to stick together. But Pat, you know, they have formed their government as 3 political parties for anybody but Bibi, and that didn't seem to work with Israeli voters.
What about this indictment thing? It sounded kind of specious that he had a deal with Bezek to get favorable publicity, and this was a indictable offense. I mean, what is the story behind all this?
Well, right now, that's the huge question overlooming right now. The final vote tally is on March 17th. He goes to trial. I talked to a legal expert earlier today who said, first of all, he can ask, like any defendant, that the trial would be delayed. But it also could be a constitutional crisis, because right now there was a motion filed in the Supreme Court to stop Netanyahu from forming a government. That, for technical reasons, that motion was delayed. But now that he is prime minister, the motion is that a prime minister cannot form a government if he's indicted. We'll see what happens on that. That's the next big hurdle that he needs to file. But Pat, in the last several months, he really has been a political magician that faced all sorts of obstacles, and right now he could be on the verge of forming that new government. Well,
Chris, in my opinion, the Israeli people understand the challenges they're facing from Iran and from other sources, and they want a strong leader who will carry them through those crises. Am I reading too much into that?
Not at all, Pat. I think most people here, a majority, not everybody, obviously, but they really see Netanyahu. For 10 years, he's led through security challenges, economic challenges, diplomatic successes. Many people see him as the man that can really lead Israel into the future and qualified as the best prime minister. So you're reading that just right, Pat.
Thanks, Chris. Thanks for your insights. Well, in other news, the field of Democrats is shrinking, and Joe Biden is reaping the rewards. The question remains, will Democrat voters unite behind Biden today? George Thomas has that story.
That's exactly right, Pat. Today is Super Tuesday, the biggest day so far in the 2020 Democratic presidential race. Virginians coming out to the polls early this morning. Voters in 14 states will cast their ballots. About 1/3 of total delegates are at stake. As Abigail Robertson explains, Democratic voters have fewer choices today than they did just 24 hours ago.
As voters head to the polls, Joe Biden picked up some major endorsements ahead of today, hoping to rally more moderate Democrats around defeating Democratic Socialist Bernie Sanders in the primary.
We can win big or lose big. That's the choice that's upon us now.
Senator Amy Klobuchar and Mayor Pete Buttigieg ended their campaigns before Super Tuesday, and both announced they would back Biden.
I'm encouraging everybody who was part of my campaign to join me, because we have found that leader in Vice President, soon to be President, Joe Biden.
Even with the boost, Bernie Sanders still leads the polls in delegate-rich Texas and California. So the question remains whether Biden can catch him.
We are going to defeat the most dangerous president in the modern history of America.
Billionaire Mike Bloomberg ignored early voting states, hoping to make a splash on Super Tuesday with his ballot debut.
I honestly think that Mike Bloomberg is a bit maybe out of his depth and got excited about running for president because he had the resources to do it and certainly some experience, but I don't think that he's going to be particularly successful.
President Trump is also on the campaign trail, bringing in massive crowds around the country, with people camping out for days ahead of his rallies.
Drain that swamp! Drain that swamp! Drain that swamp! Drain I'm the first person in line, yes.
When did you get here?
I got here about 1:45 Thursday night.
Sharon's been on the Trump train since day one and tells CBN News this is the 7th time she's been first in line for one of his rallies.
I love the job he's doing, and I love to listen to him explain what he's doing and explain his plans for the future.
With more than a third of the total delegates being awarded by the end of today, the Democratic Party will soon have a clearer picture of who might be taking on Trump in 2020. Reporting from Charlotte, North Carolina, Abigail Robertson, CBN News.
Thank you, Abigail. Pat, what do you think? Obviously, Joe Biden got 2 big boosts yesterday. Will it help him?
I think he's going to be the man, George. I believe, I've said before, I think Buttigieg is playing to be vice president, and you're going to have a B&B ticket. It'll be Biden and Buttigieg. I don't think it's going to be Sanders. I think they're scared to death of Sanders, that they'll lose down ballot, I should say, candidates, that they'll lose the House and they'll lose the Senate, and it'll be a disaster for the Democrats. And so somewhere along the way, they're going to unite against him. But I was listening to Frank Luntz, who's a terrific pollster, and he says the young people like Sanders because they think he's authentic. Well, they say the same thing about Trump. They think he's authentic because he just speaks his mind and tweets out all this stuff that everybody's scared to death of. But the voters seem to like it. So I don't think Sanders, they will unite against Sanders sooner or later. Well, there was a tragedy that took place in Nashville, and George has that story.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Pat. Sad news to report from that state. At least 9 people are dead and dozens of buildings destroyed after tornadoes touched down near Nashville. The twisters ripped through the area early morning. People waking up to extreme damage in the Nashville area. At least 40 buildings collapsed and several neighborhoods were hit. There are reports of roofs ripped off, gas leaks and power outages. Search and rescue teams are moving through the devastated areas looking for survivors. More storms are expected through the south this afternoon. Now to the coronavirus, which is continuing to spread in America. Health officials confirming more than 100 cases in 15 states. The latest in Georgia, where officials announced 2 new cases. Worldwide, more than 90,000 people have been infected and 3,100 have died from the virus. At least 70 countries have been affected. In Italy, coronaviruses there spiked, leading Delta and American Airlines to suspend all flights to Milan. Back in the U.S., in Washington State, outside Seattle, at least 6 deaths and more cases expected. Research suggesting that the virus could have been spreading in the community for weeks.
The risk for all of us of becoming infected will be increasing.
Meanwhile, Vice President Mike Pence says a possible vaccine could be making its way to clinical trials within the next 6 weeks. President Donald Trump says he's urging drug companies to speed up the process of creating a coronavirus. A bit of positive news to report. The stock market showing signs of recovery. The Dow up 5% on a 1,300-point surge Monday. The S&P 500 and NASDAQ also rallied, this after massive losses last week on news of the coronavirus spread. Pat has more with our CBN medical reporter, Lori Johnson.
Thanks very much. I'm sure that the market was watching our show with Lori, who told them the way to keep themselves healthy. CBN Health reporter Lori Johnson is with us with more.
The White House Coronavirus Task Force expanded to include the federal employee in charge of nursing home safety. Also yesterday, President Trump met with representatives of pharmaceutical companies to speed up vaccines and treatments. We're told that a vaccine will be available to the general public in about a year, and treatments to make people better will be available on a wide-scale basis by the end of the summer. And 1 million coronavirus test kits will be available nationwide by the end of this week.
Lori, I'm sure people were watching our program about the gut flora. We had about 8,000 requests for that book on how to give a better gut. But what do you think the real risk to Americans has been? Am I saying that it's been overblown? I know that the stuff is spreading, but isn't this overblown?
Well, Pat, the Centers for Disease Control updated its risk assessment, and they say nationwide to the general public, the risk remains low. However, in communities where there is community spread, they say that the risk is elevated to relatively low, and that the risk is elevated for healthcare workers treating people with the coronavirus, people who have close contact with people who have the coronavirus, such as family members, and people who are returning from countries where there is a coronavirus outbreak.
Thank you. And I understand you've done a news alert. You've got it written down about what Americans should think about the coronavirus. You want to tell us about that?
It's a coronavirus fact sheet, and we have compiled information provided to us from the leading experts on this issue, experts in infectious disease and public health, and we're making it available to our viewers so they can understand the truth and fiction regarding the coronavirus outbreak. And of course, we are going to keep people updated as this situation develops.
Thanks, Laurie. Ladies and gentlemen, here it is. It's a news alert, coronavirus, what do you need to know? We'll give this fact sheet to you free of charge. It's 2 pages. I mean, it's 2 sides of 1 page. And we'll give that to you. And also, we've had about at least 8,000 requests for this little book we call Build a Better Gut. And as Laurie pointed out in our show yesterday, 80% of our immune system is in the gut flora, and if that thing is working, the chances of you suffering any major impact on the coronavirus is very slim, because you will have a strong immune system. And if you stay away from sugar, stay away from trans fats, stay away from white flour and all those things that cause inflammation, and you build a better gut with this little booklet that tells you how to get it, you will not have to worry about you or your family in relation to coronavirus. I'm not saying that it might not affect you, but it'll be no worse than a case of the sniffles. So we'll give this to you free, Build a Better Gut, or the fact sheet on what you need to know. All you have to do is give us a call, 1-800-700-7000. Absolutely no money involved. We're not talking about anything you have to pay for. It's all free. 1-800-700-7000. Okay.
Well, you can also text us for the coronavirus fact sheet. If you'd like to do that, just text coronavirus to 41444. That's 41444. We'll be happy to get it out to you. Up next, taking the gospel to the uttermost parts of the earth by snowmobile. An evangelist travels deep into the tundra, and our George Thomas goes along for the ride. That's coming up. Plus, Mr. Entertainment like you've never seen him before. John Tesh talks about the fight of his life. Why did he once beg his wife, "Kill me, just kill me"? You'll find out, and it's all later on today's show.
Boy, they sang a song, Baby It's Cold Outside, but let me tell you, minus 60 degrees, and winter seems to last all year. And that's the life in the northernmost part of Siberia, where one man braves the deadly temperatures and dangerous travel to bring the gospel to remote tribes. And guess what? George Thomas, that intrepid explorer from CBN, traveled to the far reaches of the Arctic Circle to bring us this amazing story.
Locals call this place Yamal.
Yamal means the end of the world.
And in many ways, it is.
There are no roads here. People use frozen lakes and rivers to get around on reindeer or snowmobile.
Latitude 70 degrees north. Longitude 70 degrees east. The Yamal Peninsula sits in the deep, frozen Siberian tundra above the Arctic Circle.
So I've got about 4 layers on here. Putting on my last layer of clothing.
The temperature here fluctuates between minus 30 and minus 60 degrees Fahrenheit.
Never worn so many clothes like this in my life. But we're almost ready.
It's a little after 6 a.m. Peter Hudi, our Siberian guide, does last-minute checks.
That right there, folks, is reindeer skin. This is our sleigh. I mean, in essence, this is how we're going to be traveling into the tundra on the back of this.
The sleigh is attached to a snowmobile.
I have to make sure we have enough rope and other emergency supplies in case we get stuck.
Is this dangerous?
Это опасно?
Опасно, да.
Yes, it is.
Our destination this morning, a 4-hour journey deep into the wilderness to meet a nomadic family. 2 hours into our journey, we stop for a brief moment.
It's about 9:25 in the morning. 9:25 in the morning, and the sun has yet to rise. And we're hoping to catch that before it rises. Let's go.
The sun here shines only for a few hours during the winter. When it does appear, normally around noon, the sunrise, well, it's something to behold.
This is a special place.
Peter belongs to the largest nomadic tribe called the Ninets. He's more than just a guide. You see, he's a Christian. And for the last few years, he's been sharing the gospel of Jesus Christ with his tribe and others who live here in the tundra.
When I became a Christian, God gave me a new heart. He also gave me a new heart for my people. I go out on my snowmobile meeting these nomadic families and telling them about the love of Christ.
The Ninets are nomadic reindeer herders. The word Ninet means child of a deer.
This is, in essence, the lifeblood for the Ninets people here on the Siberian tundra, because their meat as well as their skin fetch a lot of money in the villages.
Our food, clothes, shoes, homes, our transportation, everything comes from them. Without reindeer, we cannot survive.
And learning how to survive in the tundra begins at an early age.
All my children were taught from a young age how to live in the harsh conditions. It is our way of life, but if you are not careful, you can die out here.
The women take care of cooking, sewing clothes, and putting up the teepees. The men are hunters and care for the reindeer. And when it comes to skinning the reindeer, the entire family is involved. The hide is used to make the teepees and clothes. Blood and raw reindeer meat are often consumed to get vitamins.
We use every part of the animal.
Peter is among a handful of evangelists reaching the Ninets people. He's been visiting Ustinia's family for a few weeks now.
He comes here to tell us about God. We have good conversations.
He's supported by a local Siberian church and Russian ministries, an organization focusing on spreading the gospel in the former Soviet Union. He says it all begins with friendship evangelism.
I brought presents for all the children today. Each box is filled with toys, school supplies, and a children's Bible. We have to build relationships first.
Modern technology, such as the snowmobile, cell phone, and generator, have certainly made life a little easier on the tundra.
Before, I had to rely on reindeer to get around. Now the snowmobile allows me to travel farther distances to meet families.
There are no verifiable numbers, but Peter estimates some 500 Ninets people have accepted the Lord in recent years.
There are still thousands more who have yet to hear about Jesus.
So for now, he continues to traverse the harsh landscape of the Siberian tundra in search of more people to share the good news of faith in Jesus. George Thomas, CBN News in the Yamal Peninsula, northern Siberia.
Now, how many other TV shows have their reporters going out to places like that? Oh, man, it was cold. Minus 60 degrees?
Unbelievable. And you see them with their faces.
Oh, yeah,
there.
everything freezes.
Amazing.
But anyhow, under the uttermost parts of the earth, that's what the Lord said, and that's exactly what's happening. Terry?
That's right. Jesus told his disciples to preach the gospel and to do it throughout the whole world, even to the ends of the earth. And to most of us, Siberia feels like the ends of the earth. But 1,500 years ago, a young bishop named Patrick traveled from Britain to a hostile land called Ireland. CBN Films tells the true story of St. Patrick in a docudrama that will be in theaters for 2 nights only, March 17th and the 18th. Tickets are on sale now. Make sure to reserve your seats today. To do that, go to iampatrick.com for showtimes and locations in your area. You don't want to miss that. Well, still ahead, Pat answers your email questions. A viewer wants to know, can our deceased loved ones in heaven hear our thoughts? Well, we have your questions and some honest answers coming up. But first, you don't want to miss this. John Tesh spills it all on his battle with cancer. How did he beat a terminal diagnosis? And what does the tattoo on his arm have to do with it? Well, you're about to find out all of that right after this.
Well, like millions of people, you probably know John Tesh as an Entertainment Tonight co-host, an award-winning reporter, a Grammy-winning recording artist, and the host of his own radio show. You might also know that he is a cancer survivor, and in his new memoir, Relentless, which I might add is an incredibly entertaining and interesting book, John reveals a side of himself that he's never shown before.
For the past 45 years, John Tesh has been a recognized and beloved personality to millions as a concert pianist, journalist, and Emmy Award-winning radio and TV host. He has achieved much in life, but the road has been anything but easy. John faced obstacles along the way, including being suspended from college, living homeless for months, and facing a deadly disease. In his memoir, Relentless, John shares how the challenges he faced set the stage for his success in life.
Well, I want to welcome John, but I want to tell you this book is called Relentless. It is an incredible book. It's available where books are sold, I guess, wherever they are.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. I can't believe you had time to read the book. I'm honored.
I read it all. It's fascinating. I love it. John, what did you have? What disease almost laid you out?
It was a very rare form of prostate cancer, and it was a form of prostate cancer that did not make PSA. And normally, as a guy, you go in and you get that PSA blood test. It's not completely conclusive, and I found that out the hard way. There's my doctor, Dr. Stephen Galen, did the other part of the test, which is the digital rectal exam. And my PSA was really low for 5 years, like 0.4, which means there's nothing going on, right? But he found with his test, he said, John, there's something very different here. And something very different here ended up, and next was a sonogram, and then it was a biopsy, and then within like a couple of months, I was at Johns Hopkins with.
I had one of those needle biopsies, and they're not fun.
It's not a party. No, yeah.
Well, I had a Gleason 7. Did he give you a Gleason score?
Gleason 9. Now, Gleason.
You're kidding.
I had 3 Gleason 9. Gleason 9 is you hit the jackpot on a tumor. So they grade the tumors from 1 to 10. So yours was actually probably in an area where it was like, I mean, if it was a 7, sometimes they don't operate on that. With a 9, they also didn't want to operate on it back in the day because it's too risky.
Yeah.
Right? So it was sort of like, so. They were able to say, get your affairs in order, is what they told me. Yeah.
So they thought you'd die. Well, I told them, get that sucker out of me. I don't care what it takes.
Right? Right? Yeah, because you can't sleep at night, right? And plus, the other thing is, I know now, after going back and connecting the dots in the book, that my dad, Pat, got cancer and died when he was 63 years old. And when I look back at him, it freaked me out because I got cancer at exactly the same age, almost at the same month as my dad. Wow. And I'm convinced, knowing what I know now, I'm convinced that I contributed to manifesting that cancer just by worrying about it.
Yeah. Well, but they offered you some really severe treatment that would have left you impotent and who knows what else, and you said no.
Well, I said yes at the beginning, and if I hadn't had faith, if my wife Connie Selick and I hadn't had faith for the doctors, I wouldn't be here talking to you because our faith, the knowledge of divine healing, of what's promised in the scriptures, was not fully formed back then. So when Dr. Ted Schaefer, Dr. Logothetis, and all of those guys, and Dr. Brian Chapin, when they said you're going to have a radical prostatectomy, remove the prostate, I had faith for that. It was just like what you said, get this out of me.
Yeah.
We did, then I had another surgery, then I had chemo, and I'm compressing 3 years of time here, but it was, the cancer was relentless, and it just kept coming back, you know. And then when they thought they saw something in the lymph nodes, two things were happening. One was Connie and I were relying on Mark 11:23 and Proverbs 18:21, and we were speaking, and also in the book of Romans 4:17, which was, you know, God calls forth those things to be not as though they were, and we were praying that every day. And so instead of begging God for a healing, which I had been doing, and talking to God about my sickness, I was talking to my sickness about God. And so we were fully formed in that in the healing faith and a lack of unbelief. And so when the doctor said you're going to have radiation to carpet bomb your pelvis, we had a look, and it was and faith was born. And I was not only healed of that cancer, but also of arthritis. I had terrible arthritis in my ankle because I'd broken my ankle several times playing ball. And the reason for this, of course, many reasons, but the true reason was that faith was my only choice.
Yeah.
If they were to do that to my body, I would have been a different person, you know.
Well, thank God you did. But Connie was right with you. You were praying together. You agreed together, the two.
Yeah. I mean, I can tell you what would have happened if she wasn't in my life at that moment. In fact, there was a time. There were several times when this happened, but I just didn't do well with the chemo, you know. And a couple of things happened with that, right? One is you're suffering madly. You know, I couldn't get beyond the nausea, and then the androgen deprivation therapy, where they take the testosterone out of your body, right? Because prostate.
Big mistake.
Yeah, I mean, it's just basically you go through menopause as
terrible.
As a man, I couldn't keep any weight on, and she was very cute. I would say, come on, let's go out to dinner, and I weigh 225 pounds now, and I'm 6'6". Cool. I was like, you know, I don't know, 30 pounds light.
Yeah.
And she was like, no, I'll cook for you, you know, because she knew I just looked hideous. But there was a time when I had big complications in the surgery, and there was a time when one of the procedures was they had to put an NG tube in my body, in my nose, to pump my stomach. And at that moment, and this is in the book, at that moment I looked at her and I said, you have to kill me. I just couldn't. I was so sick I couldn't pray. I couldn't receive prayer into my heart. I was just, all I could think of was.
You asked her to kill you. You really was serious.
You know, I'd love to look back on it now and say, no, I was just kidding. But I was, yeah. And there were, because a couple of things happened here, where one is that you want the suffering to be over. I was 63. I was like, I've accomplished some things. I'm done, right? And the other thing is, you just feel like you've just destroyed your family with your sickness. Where Connie dropped everything. My kids were, you know, of course, they were trying to help me. But I didn't want to be that person. And I became a cancer patient. I spoke cancer over myself. My cancer, this and that. And there's a chapter in there called The Pity Party, where I started feeling sorry for myself. Yeah. Probably your favorite chapter. and I was drinking, you know, and when a lot of times when you get, we've seen this with people that we minister to now, you know, when you accept your disease, especially if it's something that could be terminal, you get a lot of attention, right? I mean, you can have whatever drug you want. You can have, you know, you could be drinking and overeating and everything, and people don't, you know, like, well, he's.
Old John's going to leave anyhow.
Exactly. So the whole book is, as you know, the whole book is not about the cancer journey, but we sort of titrated it throughout the book, so you can flash back and see. And this process, Pat, of just going back and connecting the dots again and writing the book, made me realize that when I was homeless in a tent at 19 years old, having been tossed out of college, and my parents threw me out and my professors threw me out, that was probably the first time I understood and had a relationship with the Holy Spirit.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, it's the only thing that can explain that, you know, go ahead, sorry.
You found Connie's, you wanted Connie so bad, and she's the one that knew the Lord. And
yeah.
She wasn't going to have anything to do with you. You came to Jesus?
Yeah, I mean, it's a great example of, it's a great message for women, because she stood her ground, you know, and meaning that when I had drifted, I grew up in the Methodist Church. My dad was running the church. My mom was involved. I had a uncle who was a Baptist preacher, like you. And when I got to college, I just went nuts, and it happens to kids sometimes. And so until I met Connie in 1991, and she was, we started dating, and that's in the book as well. And she said, well, if you like me, you might like your church. And I was like, okay, yeah, I like you a lot.
What did you say?
Yeah, if you've seen Connie, if you've seen me, you know that I definitely married up, and so, or if you've met her, even more so. But she, and we really wrote this book together because I wouldn't have been relentless without her hand in mine.
John, your story is so incredible. You moved up the ladder from local TV all the way up to the network in a matter of a few, it looks like months. I mean, just meteoric.
Yeah.
Why? Well, I mean, God's hand was on you.
Yeah, and my imagination, I mean, Hernan Cortez it's a great story of the explorer who was afraid that his men were going to mutiny and take their ships back to their country, and instead he burned the ships. Right? And it's such a great example because when I made the decision, I was trying to change my major in college, and I was in textile chemistry because my dad was one of the vice presidents of Hanes Underwear, and so we got free underwear for most of our lives, and he just thought that a music career for me, which is really where I was headed, was not going to make. And he was, he's probably right, but he just insisted that I enroll in textile chemistry at NC State, and after about 3.5 years. And a grade point average of about 1.8. I took a course to raise my grade. It was Radio Television 101, and I got bit by that bug, of being able to create things and have them manifest, that day. And I wanted to change my major, and it was past the drop ad date. Most of my professors were happy to get me out of the classroom, because I was bringing down their curve. But my statistics professor just said, "No, I'm going to hold you to it. We're past the drop ad date. I won't sign this." And so on advice from somebody in my dorm room, I'm blaming it on them. They said, just do what I do. Just sign the professor's name to the drop ad card. Because there's so many kids in the class, and I made that fateful decision. I did. I got caught about 2 months later. The professor reported me, and I was in violation of the honor code at NC State.
They threw you out?
They threw me out of school. They suspended me indefinitely.
No, that's...
And gave me an F for the course, right? And then my dad had a meeting with me, and he said, "You have shamed me. You have shamed your mom. You have shamed your mom's bridge club." He had a whole list of shaming. "You have shamed the underwear division of Hanes, And then he said,
nobody will ever wear the briefs again because of you.
I was Mr. Shame, and he said, "You're no longer welcome in our house."
He threw you out of your own house?
Yeah, almost 20 years ago.
Just because of signing one name, a little forgery?
My dad was a World War II veteran. He was the chief petty officer. He was an honorable man.
Oh, man.
But if he hadn't been honorable, if that statistics professor hadn't been honorable, and if I hadn't ended up in that tent, you and I wouldn't be talking about this because I'd be making underwear, which is...
Well, you got on the air, was it Durham? Or where were you? Durham.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, in Raleigh,
What
happened was I'm in the tent for I'm homeless and without a job. I was pumping gas at college ESSO. That's before it was Exxon. That's how long ago this was. And I said, well, I should try and get on a radio station, right? And this is in there. And I couldn't figure. Everybody said you have to have a demo tape. So I called a friend of mine who had the keys to the radio lab at NC State. I was no longer a student there, so it was illegal. But he got me in there, and I had a reel-to-reel tape recorder and a typewriter, manual typewriter, and there was a little upright piano there and a microphone. And I made a fake demo tape, and I did the traffic report. Like, this is John Tesh, WKIX 2020 News, and I was typing at the typewriter at the same time to emulate the teletype, and I would hold my nose and go, "This is David Dyer in Cairo. Today, Dr. Henry Kissinger." I did Henry Kissinger. It was the most terrible thing you could possibly imagine. It went on for like 15 minutes. I dropped it off I didn't have any choice, so I had to do something. I dropped it off at the radio station, and I got a call. My tent was pitched next to a payphone. I got a call on the payphone, and it was Scott White, he from WKIX. He said, "Did you do all of this stuff yourself?" And I said, "Yeah." He goes, "If you want a job that badly, I'll give you a job playing the religious tapes on Sunday morning from 4 to 7. When there was that public service.
The dead time. I know exactly.
Right. And so it was me. and all of the pastors on the reel-to-reel tapes, you know, and then you know what happens is somebody gets sick or somebody quits or gets promoted. I got my toe in the door and I got a job there, and then I got a job at the TV station, and then I ended up in Orlando and then Nashville, and then at 23 years old I was the youngest correspondent.
Well, it
at
was
CBS.
amazing. They all were. You quit right after that. They promoted you, and then they wanted to move you up. And before long, I mean, how long did it take you to get to New York? It was
35 and a half months. Yeah, I know.
From homelessness to New York to the Black Rock.
Yeah. But you know, I have to tell you, I was praying. I could see myself with a jacket and tie on the set in New York doing that. I had imagined that and was praying about that, you know, all that time. So I got an offer to work in Milwaukee. I said, no, it's New York. It's New York. People are like, you're crazy. You're never going to work again. All the rest of that stuff. So when you don't have a choice and faith is the only thing, you know.
Well, it's amazing what God's hand. I mean, I read this book and I say, I've never heard of anybody who moved up so fast in broadcasting.
Yeah.
And the next thing, you're on Entertainment Tonight, which is a fabulous show, and America's Sweetheart, Mary Hart.
Yeah, it was, and then through the whole thing, I was because I wanted to play music, right? So I was playing music through it all, you know, playing in jazz clubs and things, and trying to write music, and then when I couldn't get a record deal, it was Entertainment Tonight, I decided to do a public television special at Red Rocks, and it ended up connecting with people. It was sort of an against all odds special where. After about 4 songs, it got rained out, and all the musicians had to leave. So it was just us. Like, here it is. Here, like just this is like 4 songs in. It's going well here, and then the rain happened, and all the musicians had to leave, and we thought we were going to lose our house. We thought we were going to lose everything, and God stopped the rain.
Really? Yeah.
The moon came out, and then this mist. After the rain came and covered the stage, and you would pay like $5,000 for a mist like that. You know, it's a special effects. Yeah. We were able to finish it. PBS ran it a couple of times, and it just blew up, and in a good way. And it raised millions for PBS. It started my music career.
Incredible.
Yeah. I think the title is probably good for the book. It's relentless. You know.
Entertainment Tonight, you had this lovely lady next to you, and you were thinking music all the time, and you had to get a course in empathy in order to.
I'm really sorry that you read this book, Pat, because I knew you'd get this. No. What happened was when I got hired to work with Mary. I still consider myself a newsman, right? Mary and I were just talking about the other day. She had no idea this happened. I got hired to be a newsman, and so I was doing the show, you know, about celebrities, tongue in cheek, right? And what happened was it was looking like I didn't like Mary. So Mary would be sitting here, and I'm just sort of like, you know, say ha ha ha, you know, that kind of thing. And you know, well, you know. And so I got called in. They said, listen, it looks like you don't like Mary on the air. I said, no, I love Mary. They said, well, you're not. Your body's not saying that. Yeah. So we're sending you to a body language coach. And I said, no, you're not. And they said, yeah, if you want to keep this job, we are. So they sent me to Dallas for 4 days to this professional body language coach. And I'm in there, and I'm like, I don't want to be there, right? And so she has a tape, a VHS tape of like 50 of the times when I was like rolling my eyes or turning my back on Mary, whatever, all stitched together, all edited together. I'm looking, I'm being a jerk.
Yeah.
And of course, my wife later is going, yes, you do that, you know. And so she trained it out of me, basically. And
what do you have to do to show empathy? What's your body language? What are you supposed to do?
Do what you do. You and Terry do a great job with it, right? I should have just watched you and said, just do what this guy's doing. Yeah. Right. Well, do you remember when Harry Reasoner and Barbara Walters worked together?
Yeah.
How that was just, apparently that's what I looked like. Yeah.
Well, you do great. Well, anyhow, John, it's just a thrill to have you on the air, and this book is so good, and I did read it, and it's very interesting.
I know you read it because you're bringing out all the embarrassing parts to me. I appreciate it.
I didn't give away some of the key punchlines, I hope. Well, thank you so much, and boy, what a miracle. You know, we're both cancer survivors, and mine didn't spread, but I got rid of it pretty fast.
Well, I stood on Mark 11:23, and for people, you know this scripture, but whoever says to this mountain, be removed and be cast into the sea, does not doubt in his heart, but believes that what he says will be done, will have what he says. And our whole family, once faith was born on that scripture, I was healed, And now we go on Sundays, we go into subacute facilities, Connie and I, and our healing Bible study, and we lay hands on the sick, and they recover. And I've studied John G. Lake, who was the guy back in the 1900s who used to empty hospitals,
Exactly.
And a lot of churches, as you know, don't teach that, and that's really what this book is about. Is that you can have what you say in Jesus' name.
Well, you're totally cancer-free, right?
Yeah.
And you're healing people. You're touching people, and they're healed.
Healing, recovery. Yeah, I mean, yes. If that I do not believe that God put cancer on me. Okay, I'm that guy. Not that guy.
The devil puts cancer. I really believe it.
Right.
It's
It's a spirit of infirmity, right? Just like arthritis. But I have the obligation of the cure now. And
praise God. And you also did the theme music for basketball.
Yeah, bro. It's funny how little you can write hundreds of songs, and then one of them will pop out. I wrote this song on my answering machine 30 years ago, where I knew that NBC needed a theme for their sports coverage, and so I got an idea when I was in Europe, and I called my answering machine. And now on stage, I have to explain to people what an answering machine is because nobody can remember. You obviously remember that, And so I sang the theme that I had in my head into the answering machine. It was because I knew if I went to sleep at night, it would be out of my head. When I got back to the States and played my answering machine, I was like, well, this might be something. Figured it out on the piano, had an orchestra play it, sent it to NBC, and as the story goes, they called me up and said, this is great, and it put two of my kids through college. so I've been singing into my old answering machine for the rest of my life.
You got the royalties from the music from that on.
Yeah, that story, the longer version of that story is in there too. People be singing into answering machines.
Well, John, you're terrific, and it's called Relentless, ladies and gentlemen. It's a fabulous book. Yes, I did read it, and I haven't given away all the key points in it. It's a life. It's amazing. God's using you. Thank you, my brother.
God's using you because I'm now pointed at 90. I'm going to get to 90, and then we're going to live Abraham age.
That's
right?
the answer.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I'm 90 in another couple of weeks or so, and.
Yeah.
And then
I know.
I've got 10 more.
Are you in Psalm 118:17?
Absolutely.
I will not die but live.
Moses lived to be 110, and I figured.
Yep.
But I've just finished 3 books, and they say you'll still be bearing fruit in old age, and I don't know what it is, but I'm doing a TV show and all this other stuff.
It's incredible. God bless you.
God bless you. You're terrific. Thank you, my brother.
My pleasure.
God bless you. John Tesh, ladies and gentlemen, you ought to get this book. And let me tell you, where they get anywhere?
Yeah, sure, yeah.
It's called Relentless, Unleashing a Life of Purpose, Grit, and Faith. Whoa, you'll love it. Okay. Is that enough pitch for you?
Thank you, Pat. It's my honor to be with you. Thank you.
You too, my brother. All right, Terry, what's next?
Well, still ahead, we've got your questions and some honest answers. Destiny says, I'm 16 years old. I have a serious fear of thunderstorms. I'm afraid the lightning will strike me down. How do I get rid of my fear? Hang on, Destiny. Pat's answer is coming up.
And welcome back to the 700 Club. The Supreme Court will once again take up a case involving Obamacare when it convenes a new term in October. That will put the issue front and center in the political debate just weeks ahead of the presidential election in November. The appeal centers on the Affordable Care Act's individual mandate and comes after a federal court ruling in December. By the way, that ruling called it unconstitutional to require all Americans to buy insurance or pay a penalty. The Supreme Court will hear the appeal and decide whether or not it agrees with the federal court. Prayer leaders have issued an urgent call to pray against the coronavirus. The Reformation Prayer Network and the intercessory group Generals International are calling for a day of prayer and fasting today. The event will be webcast. Prayer points include praying Psalm 91 over families and nations, praying against fear and wisdom for our leaders. You can learn more about how you can take part in this day of prayer and get the latest from CBN News. You can go do that all by going to our website at cbnnews.com. My friends, Pat and Terry, will be back more with the 700 Club right after this.
Time for your questions and some honest answers. Pat, this viewer says, can our deceased loved ones in heaven hear our thoughts? If I speak out loud or in thought, can they hear me?
The answer is no. I don't think that, the Bible says we're surrounded by such a great cloud of witnesses, but I don't think they're out in heaven listening to us. I don't think that's the case, and I do not read that in the Bible. So if you're thinking or you're talking, your loved ones in heaven won't be hearing it, in my opinion, okay?
Okay, this is Destiny, who says, I'm 16 years old. I have a serious fear of thunderstorms. I'm afraid that the lightning will strike me down. Yet I tell myself that God wouldn't allow it and that he controls the storm, but I'm still afraid. How do I get rid of my fear?
Well, the Bible says perfect love casts out fear, for fear has torment. What you've got to do is believe God. So you get hit by lightning. So big deal. So you die. So you know the Lord. So what happens when you die? You go to be with Jesus. So you're better off.
That's the short version.
Yeah. I mean, honestly. No, but seriously. But you want to, if you're afraid of lightning, lightning will come out of a conductor. So make sure you got rubber shoes on and you're not exposing yourself to lightning. But lightning doesn't come down from upstairs. It comes from the bottom up, and then it meets with a cloud, and you get the explosion. So you're not going to get hit by lightning, so just chill, okay? All right. Well, today's paramedic is from James 5:15. The prayer of faith will save the sick, and the Lord will raise him up.
Amen.
Well, tomorrow we've got a shocking report. Churches changed into bars, skateboard parks, and schools for circus performers. Where is it happening? Well, you'll find out tomorrow. Thank you so much for being with us. And for Terry and me, this is Pat Robertson. We appreciate you being with us on the 700 Club. And we'll be back at the same time tomorrow. So look forward to being with you. God bless every one of you. Bye-bye.